NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Welcome everybody to the Cedars Sports Corner. I'm Alex Laverson, and with me as always is our producer, Mr. Angelo Parada. And Angelo, what an interesting weekend in sports it was. We have the Steelers beating the Cardinals. We have another Patriots allegation. We have bowl selections to talk about. And is there anything immediately that you want to get off your chest?
I just want to know how many times, if you're a teacher in a classroom and the same kid gives you a mistake or an excuse, out of 180 days, when he gives it to 179, are you starting to think there's an issue? They took pictures of the New York Jets. They took pictures of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They rang the fire alarm when the Steelers stayed up in New England. Now they're caught with somebody on the sidelines. Then they're stealing signals. And then it's interference, but not really.
Footballs.
Deflating footballs, inflating footballs. I mean, you know, at some point in time, you got to go, nah, you've been caught. And by the way, Belichick, put on good-looking clothes. Don't look like a thug with your cut-off sleeves and everything else. Brady, when somebody's giving you 99 million chances, yeah, every squirrel finds an acorn sometime. And guess what? Yeah, I'm coming down hard on you guys because, you know what? Ben never got that many chances.
Well, also, remember, though, this weekend, the Patriots versus the Chiefs, the Patriots got that, remember that call that cost them the game. So that's, you guys... No. This isn't the Honeymooners, and I'm not Jackie Gleason. Listen, in the first Super Bowl, they got away with more calls than wherever. No future league, keep calling interference on both teams. Well, I know what I'm saying though is it's not like the refs every single time are going to make sure the Patriots get the benefit of the doubt, as evidenced by the last game.
Oh, if we had a scoreboard up there that would say 359,000 to 1. Okay, now the Steelers have received more apologies than anybody else in the league. So I can't really feel bad for the wham, Bill Belichick, Tim Brady. Oh, they said Omaha. Remember that little ditty on Omaha? They kept saying Omaha, and they tackled me. That was on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know, but
see? Our studio audience knows.
The studio staff knows.
But see, you got me all wound up, and I'm ready to talk about football bowls. And are you ready?
Well, let's get into bowls. Okay, Angelo.
Now, the Communist Society of Football arranged these bowls.
Dude, the way... Oh, man, you cut me off so bad right there.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
The way... Pitt started out 7-3. They get crushed by Virginia Tech, and then they lose to Boston College of all teams. So now they're 7-5. And Pitt fans are wondering, I mean, not all Pitt fans, there's a decent amount of Pitt fans who are complaining that they didn't get a better bowl selection than those at the Quick Lane Bowl. But I mean, your team is 7-5. You lost your last 2 games. Your brand of football is unappealing, and then they go up against They're going up now against Eastern Michigan in Detroit.
Well,
I feel like they deserve that bowl. I mean, Pitt deserves that
Oh,
bowl.
man with the flat hat.
Well, you tell me Pitt
No
deserves
way.
a better bowl?
Yeah, they deserve a butter bowl or some kind of bowl, a Cheerios bowl, rather than be cast off a side. Look, they cast everybody off a side. First of all, everybody knows my not like for Penn State, because I'm a Notre Dame fan, and they throw Penn State in the playing Memphis?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I mean,
Okay, wait. Now, there's a lot of people at Notre Dame that are outstanding in their field. There's great professors and everybody. But they're playing Iowa State, who has many people outstanding in their field. And not picking on any farmers, but there's rice, corn, barley, wheat.
What?
Okay, geez, oh man. Okay, let's look at the lineups. Is Virginia sad? Yes. Do they deserve to be in the Orange Bowl? No.
Well,
Penn State or Notre Dame should have been in the Orange Bowl. And what is this where we don't play, we're not awarding excellence? Sugar, Rose, Cotton, Fiesta, maybe Tangerine and Gator
well,
deserve to be played on the first day of the new year with the best teams they could get in those 6 bowls, and that includes Notre Dame.
I'm still a believer in that. Okay, you win for the power conferences, division winner, automatic spot in the playoffs, and you have your at-large teams. Of course, that's not how it is now. Obviously it's the Final Four. But the problem is with the Final Four, what it essentially does is in certain situations it can make championship games meaningless. So let's say if Wisconsin would have beaten Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, Ohio State wouldn't have fallen out of that top 4 probably. They still would have gotten into the Final Four, and it's kind of like
I don't know about that, but I don't know about that. But that's like taking the Turnpike and you have to go to Florida.
But let's say if it didn't happen. Let's say if Ohio State did lose, they didn't win the Big Ten championship, and they were in the Final Four over the Big Ten champion. Do you think that's just wrong? Do you think that's, you know what I mean? To me, that just seems weird. It doesn't seem right.
Well, it's first of all, it's wrong.
That's what I'm saying. If that was that,
when Notre Dame or Penn State lose, they drop 10 to 15 places. But if Alabama loses, it was because the team doctor stubbed his toe, and it really won't happen again. The governor pardons everybody, and they go from 1 to 2.
I understand.
I do not believe the SEC is this special conference. The heck with it.
Angelo, before you continue, I think we should probably take a break.
Okay, you want me to get water too?
Yeah, go get a drink of water, calm down a little bit. But let's take a break, and we'll follow up with this in our next segment. Now, a word from our sponsor.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine.
If you're craving hot dogs and more, and you're in the area, then look no farther than Coney Island, downtown Newcastle on Kennedy Square.
BSB. Big Shot Bobs are the wings for me. 50 flavors make it right, you see. BSB has sandwiches you have to try. Stop in and you'll know why. Every day of the week you see. Call or stop in to BSB. Big Shot Bob's will be your favorite place, just like me.
Welcome back to the Cedars Sports Corner, everybody. All right, so let's just pick up where we left off.
Okay, let me calmly say this.
Okay.
Okay. The ACC agreement was supposed to be in this vein. That Notre Dame, if the ACC champion went undefeated, or they were ranked higher than Notre Dame, then they went to the Orange Bowl. In this case, they're going to the playoffs. That's Clemson. Virginia, Santa Claus is number 23. Notre Dame is ranked higher. Notre Dame has played a decidedly tougher schedule, winning and going undefeated in November. Thus, it makes no sense to bypass the Irish in the Orange Bowl, which, oh, by the way, isn't being played on the right day. It should be on New Year's Day. Okay, stupid. 1. Number 2, Penn State. Once again, great record. Lost tough games. If you were going to put Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl, Penn State should have been in the Orange Bowl. There is no way that you do this, okay, to teams with great records. Well, no disrespect to Memphis or Iowa State. I could have easily seen the University of Pittsburgh playing either Memphis or Iowa State rather than being put in a no-win situation. If Pitt beats Western Michigan, they're going to say
Eastern Michigan they play.
Eastern, Western, Northern, if they beat them, everybody's going to go, well, Pitt should have won. If they lose to them, they're going to go, ha! See that Pitt? Aren't they terrible? Well, there's a no-win situation. I don't like playing no-win situations.
Well, here's my thing.
And if I do, and I'm Narduzzi, I run up the points 1,006,000. Okay? Just to prove that you're never going to do that to me again.
Well, here's the thing. To me, Pitt, they earned that. They dropped their last two. They did not show up against Virginia Tech. They obviously didn't show up against Boston College.
Okay, let's say this. Is Virginia Tech tougher than Toledo?
I would assume.
Would Boston College beat Eastern Michigan, Toledo, Miami of Ohio? Would they beat them?
I would imagine, for the most part.
So how could you even compare Pitt's losses to better quality teams?
Here's the thing, like, when it comes to these bowls and who they want, Pitt is not known to travel well. They're not known to, they're not well known with attendance. They don't bring a lot. They don't have a lot to offer. They're a small regional fan base in a city school. They want, these Bulls want teams that will fill up their stadium and bring in ratings. And a 7-5 Pitt team isn't going to do it, especially a team with no offense A very unappealing brand of football.
Okay.
Pitt could have been in a better situation. They could have been 9-3. I mean, they probably would have beaten Virginia Tech. I feel like Narduzzi and Pitt kind of deserve this.
I
If they lose, Angela, if they lose this game, if Pitt loses to Eastern Michigan, oh boy. Imagine the fan base. Imagine Narduzzi on the hot seat.
Would have never settled for it. I would have never settled for it. That's like Notre Dame going out to play Iowa State.
Okay,
So
what bowl would you
Notre Dame-
put Pitt in? What bowl would you put Pitt in?
Well, here's what I would have done. Notre Dame and Penn State would have gone to Cotton and Orange, respectively, or vice versa. Okay, I would have. The Cotton Bowl would have been a great place for a Notre Dame Alabama game, rematch of the 70s, people thinking about that. The Penn State, and I think it's Oklahoma, and I could be wrong, that's in the Orange Bowl or the Big 12 team. That would have been a great matchup for Penn State or Notre Dame. I mean, it's a vice versa choice. Now, the World Camp Bowl, Pitt against Iowa State, being that West Virginia plays out of that same conference, that would have been perfect. Pitt, Memphis, there was the Outdoor Bowl where they put Penn State. That would have been understandable. Okay, there is nothing like really messing up somebody. Now, BYU's playing Hawaii, but they're longtime rivals. Okay, I won't sell, even though I'm not a big Pitt fan, I'm not a big Penn State fan. Okay, I won't sell those teams down the river because somebody wants to do some, the North needs to start voting like a block, just like the South does, okay, to keep their teams in there. I can't help you there. I want Narduzzi to go out and pound them so bad that people turn off the TV set at the end of the first quarter.
Well, let's say
he goes out, and let's say at the end of the first quarter the score is 35-0.
Well, I was gonna say what happens. What do you think if Eastern Michigan beats Pitt? Which could happen. Which is very likely to happen. If that happens, does Narduzzi got to go?
No, he's in a no-win situation. This is worse than.
But this would be the second year in a row where he lost his last 3 games. Year 5, his team goes 7-6. Hasn't really done too much. I don't know. I'd be okay with the change, honestly. It's. I don't know. I could go on and on.
Before you listen,
I'm not happy with 7 wins.
Before you tear down a fence, make sure the reason you put the fence there in the first place. Now, we better take a break.
Let's take a break and now word from our sponsors.
This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Holy snowman, it's the Turf Bar, home of great sandwiches, appetizers, tacos, you name it, they have it at the Turf Bar. It's just the right food. You'll enjoy those special drinks. They're there too. And get that nice cold beverage, relax, enjoy the Turf Bar. If you ain't there, you should be. Hello, friends. Pinella Brothers, 1701 Hamilton Street, provided funding for this program. Great food and drink, Pinella Brothers.
Welcome back to our third and final segment of the Cedars Sports Corner. Angela, to finish off what I was saying, I understand why is the fence there to begin with. So you're saying why is Narduzzi there to begin with? I understand. You know, Pitt doesn't want to go through another coaching search. They've had so many. But here's the thing. If they lose to Eastern Michigan, I feel like that's just going to set a very unoptimistic tone for next year. I feel like if they lose to Eastern Michigan, next year is going to put Narduzzi will officially be on the hot seat, and it will be kind of a judgment year for him, for the administration.
I'm thinking of another team that went to a bowl game that the players weren't really up to going to the bowl game. It was not okay, and it was just a bad feeling, and it didn't produce any winners. My point is, you never put yourself in that situation. I can tell you, if I was Narduzzi, not only would I have watched films, but I would be telling these guys, we're going to go all out. We're not going to stop scoring until 3 days after the gun sounds. Because don't ever disrespect me like that.
Well, see, that's kind of my thing. Is he going to do that with Eastern Michigan? And he wasn't able to get his team up, guns blazing the past few games.
God.
Well, I don't think
Boston College is light years better than Eastern Michigan.
But Pitt still should beat them. Pitt didn't show up for Miami. They didn't show up for Virginia Tech.
Boston College is a good quality football program.
I understand.
Okay,
Power
Virginia Tech is a good quality football program. I don't blame people for mistakes that happen. You know, Duquesne got caught up in that a few years ago. Oh, you have them beat Pitt for blah, 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 blah. Now, as an alum, the one thing that thrills me more than anything else is beating Pitt in basketball. The one thing that probably thrills Pitt and would tick them off is if they lost to Duquesne so many years in a row. Same thing with the Notre Dame USC game, the same thing with Michigan Ohio State. Okay, but you can't afford to grade your program on just one single solitary situation. You have to be able to grade it across the board. Narduzzi, is he going to be okay across the board? I think so. Okay, Kelly, is he going to be okay across the board? I think so. The Dukes of Duquesne, their basketball team right now is, well, let's talk about their football team. Keep apples with apples. Their football team had a good year, not a great year. So now, are we going to fire the coach that lost the semifinal game last year because this year he lost to Robert Morris? The Dukes of Duquesne basketball, undefeated at the time of taping this game, just beat Columbia 90-71. Are we going to say, yeah, but now next year if we schedule Pitt and you lose, you're out?
I think I understand what you're trying to say. Like, you know, one game scenario shouldn't necessarily cost someone their job, but I guess what I'm trying to say is if Narduzzi just keeps producing just 7-win seasons, is that good enough to keep his job?
Until they put Pitt Stadium back on campus and they commit to the football program, 8-3 is not bad.
So you're saying for what the program is right now, for a program that doesn't have an on-campus stadium, that doesn't sell out, for a program that's really mediocre, The 7 wins to 8 wins is okay enough for you.
Yeah, because you're not pushing.
You're saying it's like Pitt's not taking it seriously.
Right. Okay, it would be like the Pirates. Are the Pirates really taking playing baseball in Pittsburgh seriously? I don't think so. When you're 3 games out or 2 games out and you trade everybody, and the next year you're 1 game out and you don't win any games till August.
I think Pitt's locked in at Heinz Field until 2030. So I think that, I don't know if the athletic director wants to have an on-campus football stadium. I'm sure she does. I just don't think it's practical because they're locked into Heinz Field till 2030 and that they don't have room for one. But I think they wish they did have a room for one.
Tear down the Pete.
Oh, man.
And put it back.
I don't know how practical
to a football stadium, and then when you put it back, okay, you'll still have all the same parking, and you could construct a dome over it and play basketball there. Duquesne had to build a new basketball arena because they want a larger crowd seating capacity.
What would you have for the stadium capacity if you were able to somehow find a way to get Pitt Stadium on campus?
You have to have
40,000 seat stadium.
Well, I think you have to have 50 to 60,000 as league rules.
Well, Duke football, I think their capacity is 30,000 if I'm correct. I think 30 is the bare minimum. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's an official.
They may be grandfathered in.
I think it just depends. But
that's going to do.
I think that'll do it for our show. Any parting words, Angelo?
Hats off to the Dukes of Duquesne. I wish the Nittany Lions of Penn State the biggest win in school history. I wish